Hello everyone. This is a short video on how to integrate quotes. This particular page is from the Boise State University Writing Center and focuses on MLA style. I'm going to periodically pause this to show you the difference if you're doing APA for social science. So, the three components hold true across both style guides. The first component, which is actually pretty important, is to introduce the reader to the quotation. Typically, you'll have some kind of introductory sentence that grounds us and gets us ready to read a quotation. So here's an example for MLA. In his article, The Importance of Writing Badly, Bruce Ballenger describes his take on the beginnings of the writing process. Following that in MLA, you would have one of a number of sentences, and there's 4 examples here. So Ballenger states, and then the quote you want to use, or according to Ballenger, or Ballenger writes, or in Ballenger's book, he maintains that, and then your quote, and then the page number, and then the period. So these are your attributions: states or writes or maintains, but use the best one for your particular use. All right, now I'm going to show you what it would look like in APA. In an APA version, you don't need the title of the article unless it's an especially fascinating title, and most aren't. And you don't need the author's first name. And something you do need that you won't find in the MLA in-text citation is the date, right after the author's name. So the same information would be conveyed this way if you're using APA. In an article on the writing process, Ballenger, parentheses 2001, or whenever the date was it was published, discusses his beginning point in the process, period. He maintains that, and then your quotation will just finish your sentence, and then the page number and a period. And there's no P before the page number. And that's an example of what APA might look like. You could change out maintains for argues, for states, for refutes a particular idea, whatever is most relevant. Or you could take this out and attach it to this sentence. Discusses his beginning point in the process, comma, maintaining that, and finish it that way, or even maintaining, colon, and then putting in a complete sentence right there. Lots of options. The point is that you're setting the quote up ahead of time, and now when we get the quote, we understand who said it and what the context was. The second part of the 3-part quotation process is the actual quote. So obviously you're going to put the quote in. That's the easy bit. Make sure you've captured it correctly. You haven't skipped a word or mistyped something or deleted something by accident. And make sure you actually need the entire quote. Oftentimes it's just a portion of it that you need, and the rest of it could be in your words. The third part of it is a very important piece, and this is what you, as this site says, what you gather from the quotation. I'm just going to read this part. This is the part most writers forget about. This is the analysis. The third component is the explanation of why the quote is important to your argument. This is crucial as it tells the reader how your research fits into your main claim, idea, or thesis. So here's where you're going to talk about the quote, and don't just summarize what the quote says, because we're pretty smart. We can probably figure that out. Here's some options of the way you could set up this analysis of the quote. So you could say something like, basically X is saying, but not just restating it, but kind of saying it in a way that connects to your argument or your claim. This is the same kind of thing. In other words, X believes, and you're putting the other words that connect it to your idea. Or X is insisting that, Or if you want to make it into a larger argument, the essence of Ballenger's argument is that blah, blah, blah. You don't need to cite this sentence because it's you analyzing the previous one, and we know where the previous one came from. In APA, you don't need to do anything different other than, actually you don't need to do anything different because you don't need another date after the name because it's still in the same paragraph. So this will work just fine. Here's an example of the APA style. So there's the quote. Well, let's just read it. Not every single piece of writing may be perfect or have a purpose or function, but sometimes those pieces may lead to a bigger, better piece of writing. In his essay, The Importance of Writing Badly, or in an article on the writing process, Ballenger and the date, depending on your style, Ballenger says, giving myself permission to write badly makes it much more likely that I will write what I don't expect to write, and that from those surprises will come some of my best writing. End of the quote, page number, period. Now here's the analysis. I agree with Ballenger, who basically says it usually takes at least a couple of rough drafts before he feels comfortable and confident in his writing. And then this person's argument is about how he writes. So he goes on to say, I write badly because I don't pay close attention, blah, 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 blah. So that's how it fits into this piece. In your summary or analysis, you probably are not going to use first person here and say that you agree. So after the quote, you might just go right ahead and say Ballenger basically says, and then continue. Okay? Try not to, again, this isn't the best explanation because it really is a summary of the quote. You want to analyze it just a touch more than that. But at least there's something after the quote that shows us that the writer's thinking about it and how the writer's using it. Hope that helps.